Good afternoon. Welcome back to the Split Labs channel. Before we jump in, today's best bets is sponsored by Split Labs because we built the exact tool we wanted you guys to use as bettors. Split Labs shows you public betting splits, line movement, market signals across every single major sport. If you want access to all of the information that you'll see in this video, line movement, splits, the playbook where you can see injury reporting, things for your player prop, weather analysis, things like that to really benefit and guide you in your bet, and just information and really great tools to understand where you should be betting, maybe what you should be avoiding, and everything in between. Make sure you head over to splitlabs.net, promo code YouTube for 50% off your first month. All right, with that being said, let's get into the NBA slate. But without that, I cannot do myself a disservice without going into a little bit of a bragging rights section of this where we recap how we did yesterday. So really quickly, these are the bets that we were on yesterday. We had the Chicago Bulls money line, Houston Rockets -4, Houston Rockets money line, Timberwolves over 244.5. And then I really hyped myself up here. I said Denver Nuggets plus 2.5 and Denver Nuggets money line, and I pretty much crapped on the Lakers. Those are the only two bets that I lost yesterday. So pretty disappointed in myself, especially because at one point early in the third quarter, and maybe I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt, I think it might have been halftime, the Nuggets went on an absolute tear. And then it was -300. And I was like, we got this in the bag. And any time that I do that with a bet, immediate collapse. And that's exactly what happened with the Nuggets yesterday. So if you tailed that pick, I apologize, guys. But otherwise, we had a fantastic day. We went 5-2. The Bulls really pulled it out. I think the line movement read was spot on there. Houston Rockets, definitely, again, a line movement read. Timberwolves, we always say we don't bet on just vibes. But again, when I see a number that high, immediate red flags. And then the Chicago Bulls, again, just a line movement play, things that we got from Split Labs data, things that I really thought benefited the reads, and clearly that worked out. -7 Nuggets bet, that's just going to haunt me in my sleep for the next day or so until we have another great performance. With that being said, let's get into today's slate. Let's have another positive day. Just because I'm seeing some pretty solid matchups, and honestly, I haven't gotten a chance to really go through this board by myself before starting up this video. But I do know, at least on the first matchup, I am seeing some things that kind of interest me, and that is the Cleveland Cavaliers versus Charlotte Hornets. And before I start talking any type of mess, I'm just going to look at the injury report really quickly. We've got Darius Garland, he's out. That's significant. Don't get me wrong. Charlotte Hornets, they're healthy. There's no one notable missing. With that being said, Garland missing is not enough of a factor in any world where I think I should be able to get a -148 money line on the Cleveland Cavaliers against the Charlotte Hornets. This team is a liability, and it completely depends on what side of the bet they wake up on. We're getting a -2.5 against a 16-27 team. Not great. And then on top of that, this total hasn't changed. So I'm going to go into this board just based on the Split Labs data. You guys let me know how you guys feel about it, and then I'll give you the reads that I am personally feeling here just based on the data. All right, so the Cavs, like I said, -2.5 spread. It opened at -2.5. It looks like on DraftKings right now you can get a -3, but on FanDuel, as of right now, it's still -2.5. Fantastic. 58% of bets, 67% of money. I'd expect FanDuel to follow suit and start transitioning off this money. That's a minor red flag there, that it's consistently staying at this -2.5. Next, we get to the Cleveland Cavaliers. At what point do you think 69% of bets and 78% of money on the Cleveland Cavs should give me a -148? And yeah, I know typically we always say lead with the fact that if the line is moving in your favor, follow it. You don't have much to be concerned about. And this is positive, absolutely. But you just have to put two and two together. I know exactly how much money is coming in on these Cavs. People are feeling really confident. It's all over people's parlays. It's probably their best bet for today. And it's at the best price. Tell me who's not going to take the Cleveland Cavaliers at -148. At that point, I don't even care for the spread, right? For a casual bettor, I'm just going to pull the trigger and take the Cavs. They win. Easy. It's never that easy. This feels like a prime trap spot for me, so I'm going to flag this right here, and I'm going to keep going. Next, we have the over 235.5. And again, we're receiving 75% of bets and 54% of the money. Now, where we pause here is the fact that it opened at 235 and has not moved at all. The total has not changed. So what this is telling me is, if the books are willing to accept 75% of bets and not make any type of adjustment, they are comfortable with this number. They don't care if you take this, because to them, this total's not hitting that. It's not going to happen. And like we said, we went over kind of who's available. Darius Garland is not a great guy. Don't get me wrong. This is not acceptable just because Darius Garland is out. It's the Charlotte freaking Hornets. And I love LaMelo Ball. Don't get me wrong. But they're 16-27. Look at how they stack up against each other. Cleveland Cavaliers are significantly just more efficient when it comes to scoring. Defense, Cleveland could be better there. Tempo, Cleveland has a faster pace. And then discipline, like, I don't want to say it's a toss-up, but still, like, where it matters, this Cleveland team, with all of their advantages in the scoring department, I can say that's probably the most bucket that has the largest team advantage. They're a better team. So with that being said, this is my upset. And the last time I said this, the Nuggets collapsed, right, yesterday. And I said the same exact thing. I'm taking Charlotte Hornets plus 2.5. And if the books trick me again into taking the 2.5 dog spread and then I lose again, then maybe I correct that the next day. But for now, I just don't see any reason for why I'm jumping on this Cleveland Cavaliers moneyline train, spread train, and following the money. I'm going to go Charlotte Hornets plus 2.5, Charlotte Hornets moneyline, and then I'm going to take this under 235.5, because I would think that if I'm getting all of these bets, some type of adjustment should be made to the book. So I'm going to go with that. I feel like these are the book needs, especially this under. I'd say the under is probably my favorite play, but lock me in for all three of those, and let's call it a day. Next, we've got the Pacers minus 10.5 going up against the Pacers. The Pacers are rocky. The spread is not changing, which again, a little bit of a red flag. It looks like our line movement's currently pulling from DraftKings, so that's where we're seeing a little bit of a mismatch in the number up above for the splits. The splits are purely FanDuel when it comes to the lines moving. We're seeing 57% of bets, 65% on Boston minus 10.5. A little concerning that the spread hasn't changed, but we're still early enough in the day that the books have time to adjust. As far as the money line, 84% of bets, 92% of bets on the Boston Celtics. They're currently a minus 500. They opened at minus 480. And then the under opened at 228.5. Now on DraftKings, it's sitting at 226.5, and on FanDuel, 225.5. As you guys know, I hate when I get these big spread bets just because it's like the books are forcing your hands. I'm going to avoid this just because, do I trust the Pacers? The Boston Celtics are a team that I never trust to begin with, ever. No matter what type of recent form they're in, I just don't trust this team. I'm not going to put my money on the Pacers right now to cover minus 10.5, like plus 10.5, plus 10, like 11. It's just not going to happen. And I don't necessarily see them upsetting. So I'm not going to put my eggs in that basket. Something that I do like, and I'm not going to make this official play, but I'll talk it out if you're interested in this game for yourself and you can find a reason to back this, is this under, just because it opened at 228.5 and the line is gradually going down with it. I would say search for a good number here, though, if you're going to play it. Don't force it. Now we're in the under 225 range from 228.5. That's significant in the NBA. If I had a bet on this game, it would be the under. Personally, I'm going to avoid it. But if that's a game that you're looking at, I would say avoid the spread, avoid the money line, focus on the total. I think the total is probably the cleanest read here. But again, this is a no bet zone for me. And then we've got the battle of the mid. I can't say that. The Knicks have kind of died down a little bit, but they were hot. I mean, our NBA Cup champions represent. We've got the Brooklyn Nets versus the New York Knicks. Large spread again, plus 11.5, 67% of bets, 57% of bets. And to be honest, this is pretty surprising given how bad the Nets are. But again, it's like, do you trust the Knicks to cover a large spread? Most answer is going to be no. How often is the Knicks really blowing out teams? On the money line, though, what works in your favor is that they opened at minus 590 and they're now minus 620. So the books are confident the Knicks win this game. I think we all are. I really just don't foresee a Brooklyn Nets upset. And then this total, I'd say a small read here is that it's currently sitting at a 220.5 and it opened at 224.5, even though we're getting 58% of bets. Personally, I think my favorite bet on this, if I'm not leaning directly into just the money line of this monstrosity of minus 600 for the New York Knicks, it's a Brooklyn Nets team total under, just because I don't think they're going to cover the spread. With that being said, I would honestly take the New York Knicks minus 11.5. I don't see the Nets hanging around. I know it's a battle of like New Yorkers, but like the Nets are not good. I'm taking the Knicks over them any day confidently. I know the Knicks typically don't blow teams out, but it's the Nets, and I'm really surprised the public is kind of backing the Nets to cover this, but I think this is mostly not because they trust the Nets to cover. It's more so that they don't trust the Knicks to cover, and in that, I'm going to lean into it. I'm going to take the New York Knicks. Apologies, guys. Do not bet the Nets. We're going to take the New York Knicks here for minus 11, and then we're going to take the Brooklyn Nets team total under, and I'll track that down for you guys in a second. All right, guys, so I've just looked at what the total is for the Nets team total, and it's currently 104.5. I know a lot of people might be nervous for a number that low. Don't be nervous. It's the Brooklyn Nets. So we're going to go under 104.5 on the Brooklyn Nets team total, and we're going to take the Knicks minus 11.5. All right, last game. On the board, I've got Toronto Raptors and the Sacramento Kings. I think this is the last game on the slate today. Toronto's taking in 53% of the bets, 58% of the money, minus 5.5 spread. It opened at minus 6, so we're seeing it get smaller, which is concerning, given that they're taking in the majority of the bets and the money. Same thing with the money line, 58% of bets, 75% of the money, and it's, again, getting cheaper. They opened at minus 230. They're now minus 215, so you're scratching your head a little bit. Feels like maybe a Sacramento Kings upset spot. I'm personally not feeling strongly about taking Sacramento here, to be honest. I've already picked my dog for the day. I'm going to lean into this over here. It opened at 222.5. The amount of bets and the money are pretty significant. We're seeing 71% and 63% of the money on over 226.5. We're kind of late to the number, but I love that the line is following the money here and the bets and respecting all of the money that is on this. So I'm going to go over. We're pretty late to the party. I'd go half a unit, honestly, on this one if you are, or shop around for a better number closer to this open, which will probably be extremely hard to find. I'd say middle ground is like a 225, 224 if like we can get it there. But I'll take the risk. I'll go over 226.5 and just trust my gut here that the lines will align with what we're seeing here. With that being said, guys, we are going to wrap this up. Again, if you'd like access to every single thing that you saw here today, the line movements, the splits, the team advantages, our script where we actually tell you guys what the lines are doing and kind of what we're interpreting this as, head over to splitlabs.net. You get the access to the playbook where you can shop player props and kind of see where the team has an advantage, get access to game environments, projections, matchup grades, all of that good stuff for your bet. And if you use promo code YouTube, you'll get 50% off your first month. So with that being said, let's have a day, guys, and I'll see you guys on the next one.